don't have any type of thought beforehand.
Yeah. No, that's wonderful. I like to actually operate that way. So I guess it's probably in certain things you feel comfortable doing that, which is great.
In these kinds, I mean, I just kind of like, oh, if I don't know, I'll be honest. Like, you know what? I've never thought about that, but you'll get my thoughts firsthand.
That's great. Okay. Yeah. No, if you feel that you trust me with the formulation of it, and and then just getting your thoughts on it helps. And so I get an idea.
Loud.
Oh, sorry. Okay, let's see. You are. Could you do a sound check?
Check.
So yours is 1.
The mic feels, or the headphones there. That's better.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What about if I talk that? Is that going to be too loud if I talk?
No,
like
that's
that?
fine.
Okay. Let me make sure I'm not. I need to turn it. Somebody turn that all the way up here. Okay. And I'm going to turn you up some.
I see. I have hearing in both ears, so it probably sounds a little bit different in mine than yours.
Indeed. I'm like, turn it up. That's like, okay.
No, I feel like the one thing about these is I'm restricted and I move a lot, and so I'm like, I got to be right here instead of having those ones that are like right here.
Yeah,
that would probably just for me work better because I'm a mover.
You're a mover. We might have some solutions. One of them is I have like one of those pilot looking ones that has the boom right here. I might get that for you.
The one you move up and down.
Yeah, you can do that. Or I do have a wireless one, but what I would have to do is I could connect it to this and feed it into the system. So
yeah, it's fine. I just am very aware of my movements.
Yeah. And the audio, it equalizes. So if it should happen, it should be okay. But so, okay, let me pull this up here and I'll just kind of, I got music, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah. I took this thing home and I was like, I'm going to upload music. So I hope it's worthy of our podcast.
I have a different cup.
Oh, look at you. Okay. Man, how many of these do you have? These are great. Okay.
Oh, I have a lot. Not too many, actually.
But yours have meaning to them. So
yeah.
So happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the lights. This is good.
So this is Albus Dumbledore from Harry Potter, but I have these quotes like all throughout my office, and I have one. So there's one on my Scottish mug that says something about bravery, but I don't remember the term. But then the one I read here with the therapist recipe, a good therapist. But this one's one of my favorite quotes because so many people, we get into such a dark time sometimes, and we forget that there are glimmers of things in almost every situation. And we've got to find those glimmers. And sometimes that's just enough to let us see the light to be like, oh, okay. Because I had closed the door in the bathroom, like, crap, I don't even know where so I'm like feeling around the wall. I'm like, wait, I have my phone. And so I just use that.
That's so good. It's like the perfect example because it's like, it's just as simple as there's a solution that's right here.
Yeah.
But you're like you said, and that's the classic feeling on the wall.
Like, I know it's here somewhere.
Yeah. Have you ever been like on the wrong side? Like,
yeah, that happens down here all the time in this off the wall.
The wall over here.
It seems like it shouldn't be on the right side. It should be on the left side as you're walking into the hall, but it's right near the corner.
Oh yeah,
like
that's right.
On the right hand side, and
that's true.
To me, it just doesn't make sense. You would think it is going towards the direction you want to go.
See. You might have some architectural savvy to you because like I think some people, I don't know, I wouldn't think about stuff like that. People would just like have like the, like you said, like over here, like weird stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's hilarious. Yeah. The classic turn on the light, man, and feeling on the wall. That's a thing. No,
the amount of things that I end up doing in my dream and I wake up and realize that is not done.
Oh.
It's so disappointing. I'm like, I would be so productive if the things that happen in my dream were actually happening in real life too.
So you're productive in your dreams?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think that feeds my anxiety.
Oh, really?
Because I wake up and realize it didn't happen. So I still have to do it.
So yours happens after. How interesting. I wonder what that is. Because mine is that I wake up in terror of something I forgot.
A dread.
Yeah. And I'm like, I did not. And so I'm thinking of how I can do it in 3 a.m. And then I realize, oh, it's 3 a.m.
I don't have to do it yet.
I don't have to do it. And it's not even a real thing. That's the thing. I'm like, oh, you forgot something.
But you don't know what.
Don't know.
I've had those actually. I had one of those random college dreams recently, probably within the last year, where I thought I forgot a test. Like I slept through a test. I'm like, oh my word. I remember doing that in college often, where I'm like waking up thinking I forgot something.
Right.
But I was like, I haven't been in college for years.
So they're called
no idea. But no, this one's just life stuff. Like, okay, example, I'm doing the accounting stuff right now and trying to balance like my business account with all of the stuff that came in. And so I definitely had a dream last night of like walking through. I also had the nightmare of having another baby, which is not possible.
No kidding.
But I just remember thinking, I'm like looking at the baby. It was so cute. But I'm like, this should not be possible. So I know like somewhere in my brain, it's not possible, but there's still that panic of it happened.
Yeah.
And there was a mix between my youth camp like trip. It was so weird.
Yes, dreams are crazy. Did the baby have a name?
Nope.
No. Okay.
It was a boy.
It was a boy.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
And I'm just like, oh my goodness, your siblings are like almost out of the house. Why?
Yeah. It's funny because life will sometimes give you weird premises and you're just like, okay, this is my new reality. And you're just like, here goes
it better
nothing.
Not be my reality.
Right. Try to piece it together and work it out.
We did stuff to make sure that did not happen.
Right. So. We took the steps. Oh man, that's so funny.
This is an off-topic question, but are you working on having dreads, like official dreads?
Official?
Because it looks like it on the ends.
On the ends, yeah. So these are called barrel twists up here. And the thing is that it's kind of a weird mix thing because, and I'm glad you asked. So my family, we're Jamaicans, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's a stereotype of dreadlocks. But the problem with dreadlocks is that they once upon a time probably still do represent like Rastafari.
Oh, yes.
And so, what's
that connected to?
Which is, right. Which is connected to like,
drugs.
Right. Marijuana. And then this concept of the I don't know, of this God concept that includes you and other things. And so, and a lot of people in the United States, this seems to be the thing right now is dreadlocks now, but they don't know the origin of it. Well, the interesting thing about it is that for me, hair has always been a thing for me growing up. Like my Auntie Peggy, because we're a mixed group. Like you look at me, you would never think I'm Jamaican, and I don't need to look Jamaican to be Jamaican, right? Yeah. And so that's not the issue here. The issue, and this is the long route answer to your question, because it's very interesting to me. My Auntie Peggy on my dad's side, I don't know where my dad is. He's doing, but I remember them a very particular looking kind of people. His last name is like Da Costa, which is like, I think it's Portuguese.
I mean, it sounds Hispanic.
Yeah, it does. It does. And he, and I remember meeting his sister and towards the ending of her life. And I remember that when she died in a car accident, I remember for this clip, those clips in your head of walking up to in that room where they have kind of like the viewing. Mm-hmm. And I remember she was laying there and I remember her hair and her hair was very much like the color of mine, but it wasn't like dreadlocks. It was like, she had a lot of little clips but it looked like twisted. And some of it was kind of becoming dreadlocks, but it was like little tiny ones. And I remember, and I didn't realize that, how like things come out later in your life.
Yeah.
Well, when I started doing this is not knotted up. This is just like barrel twist, but back here, it did start to, in fact, it is. It has knotted up, but it wasn't, they were just supposed to be twists. But after a while, they do start to knot up. And now they're starting to look like it. And so the cool thing about my love for hair, my culture in connection to my auntie is kind of what this is. So I don't know that I'll always probably do something more like this because I'm not going for dreads.
Yeah.
I was really going for twists. And so I do this part this way, and then the back, I might trim it, cut it. I don't know. But it just became
what happens. Because we all have so much hair loss that in that you don't have hair loss. And that's why part of it doesn't look so crisp like your scalp.
Yeah.
It's because all of the dead hair that needs to be released hasn't.
It's all here. Yeah. It's probably pulling back on my brain. Yeah. It's incredible. It's incredible. But it's funny how identity is a big deal. When I was younger, a teenager, I tried to do dreadlocks, like literal ones, and my mom was like, yeah, that's fine. But to my grandma, it meant something else. And so that was kind of like a thing for her. I cut it for her. She doesn't know I did, because she doesn't fuss. And I use the old word fuss. She doesn't fuss, but she would love me anyway.
Yeah.
I remember going up there with her, and she'd always bring me a mango. She'd be like, you eat yet? And she'd give me something. and she'd love me no matter what I was, but I did it for her. And then I forgot about it. And then I got back into messing up. So hair is a big deal for me. So I appreciate you asking.
It's like the opposite of a mullet, where it's, kind of like the mullet where it's like business up front, party in the back.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's just the Jamaican mullet.
Right. So good. That was perfect. And then I thought about, it's funny that you said that. I was like, this is like a Jamaican mullet. I was like, okay. Everything's coming back anyway,
I know.
Mullets are coming back, everything.
They change them a little bit. They look more like skunks right now, like the little side where it's a little bit more short, but it's still the same thing.
It is the same thing. Yeah, that's true. That's so funny. So funny. This is the beginning of it somewhat. So I don't know. Okay, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Hello. My name is Fred, and this is
Julie.
And we're here with
Mind,
Mana, and Maker. So this is a space where we slow things down and we talk about the mind. We open scripture and we ask what God is shaping in us from day to day. That's the mind.
Yeah.
And then that's the Mana, and then that's the Maker. So this episode today is called Disconnection and the Devil. And before anyone panics, it's not a horror movie or anything like that. This is not like, we could if we wanted to, though. We could make something.
There's enough stuff in this world that could make it scary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And it's amazing to me what is scary as I've gotten older. And we were talking about vertigo and the crystals in our ears and balance as we get older, and
falling down the stairs.
And then falling down the stairs. It's a scary world out there.
In our own house.
In our own homes. And so we don't even need a scary movie.
Oh.
These young people, some of us maybe even, I don't know, you may even go watch, some of those mysteries,
mysteries maybe, but not the horror. I'm out.
Yeah. Life is chasing us already. And it's got scary music in the background.
And they can catch up because I'm slow and old now.
That's right. Me too. Yeah. You got me. I would just feel like you got me, buddy. There's no...
Play dead.
Yeah, exactly. So when we talk about, you came up with this title I love, The Devil and Disconnection.
Yeah. Disconnection and the Devil. And I remember when I was looking at all of this stuff, and I was just like, okay, what would be good podcasts? What would be items for that? This one came up because when you think of disconnection, that can go good or bad.
Yeah.
Disconnecting from the world, going to church, that's important.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens when it goes so far that you aren't on the right path anymore, and you're so disconnected that now you're following Satan, and you're following that stuff, because he doesn't use just things that seem, so out there that it's like,
it wouldn't be attractive to you.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just being on your phone so much, where phones are needed at this point. Like, I have to have my phone because that's where my clients call me. I don't have an office phone. That is my phone.
Yeah.
But we get so disconnected from things, and it could be just sitting on the couch because you're so so overwhelmed with everything that you're not present with your kids.
That's so true.
I mean, so that's where my brain was when I came up with that topic of how when we get so disconnected, we're actually going the wrong direction instead of the one we were trying to go on in the first place.
Man, that you said, besides the one that we were trying to go on in the first place, I was kind of driving on the way here, and I was thinking about like that word, the devil, and what that means. You know, like there's mythical references, and then there's biblical references to that name, and then I think about the products and things that have come about, like Devil's Food Cake.
Yeah.
Any idea why they call it that?
Probably because it's sinful to eat and you'll gain lots of weight.
Right. Well,
it's supposed to be fluffy because some people call it angel food cake too.
It's true.
Oh, is there a difference?
Well, angel. I think someone was
maybe
like,
it is. One's a lot darker and chocolate.
Yeah, and the angel one is white and light and bright.
Why do they have different colors for that?
Well, I think what it is chocolate is decadent and rich, and so it's like that's got to be sinful. It's got to be terrible. Yeah, and there's got to be evil involved, and so yeah. And then you have like the dirt devil.
Oh yeah.
Why call it that?
That's a great question. Because it is red though.
It is red. They made it red, but like I guess dirt. The devil is considered dirty, and so it's the dirt devil.
Yeah, I always wonder, okay, how many people were sitting in this room like, what are we going to name this thing?
Yeah, they're bored of members. They're like, how are we something that cleans up the dirt of the devil?
Because isn't there a place in the Bible that says like cleanliness is next to godliness?
Oh, that's good. It might be a play on that. I'm going to take that. There you go. Dirt devil, this is for you. This isn't an opportunity for us. No. This is for you. What is it?
Your slogan.
Yeah. Rework that thing, okay? You're welcome. And we will collect.
We give free advice.
It's free. No, she says free. I was going to charge, but this one's free. And
we'll take some donations.
We'll take donations for sure. And then you hear about the thing, the devil is in the details.
Yeah.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, okay, so I don't know, honestly, but when they say read between the lines.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of meaning between those things. I think that's why they get away with sexual innuendos in video or movies and stuff. Because if you're young, I remember, when we first watched Shrek, I didn't get half the things that I get now when I watch it. I'm like, oh,
I know.
Oh my gosh, but the kids don't get it either. I'm like, but still, I do. So
yeah. Well, maybe that's how they get double like the money out of it, because when you're younger you don't get it, but then when you get older and you circle around, you watch it again
and you're like
oh,
this is, and that's in everything.
I
mean, so many things you're like, oh yeah, okay, I didn't get that the first time. And Kaylin's at the age now she's starting to understand, but she'll ask questions and I'll answer because I'd rather her know from me than random questions that they got. I mean,
that's so good. I think that's an advantage of our generation, is that like we want our kids, because that's what I'm doing with Moses right now as well. I want him to be aware, what's going on, But so the devil in the details, and then the title, what is it? Disconnection
and the
devil. And that kind of says to me a devilish kind of a concept is deception.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like it comes from the Greek word diabolos in the New Testament, and you'll hear this, like the story, I think it's Matthew 4, verse 1. You can check me on that, where Jesus is being tempted in the desert. And so
like, this all can be yours if you only bow down to me.
Yeah. If you only bow down to me. And it's like, so the very thing, and I find this in life in general with me, is the very thing that I'm trying to get. It's like I can never get it, because maybe of the way I'm going about it. Because people who are looking for connection through certain means are getting disconnected. They're getting the opposite of what they're seeking.
Yeah.
And why? Why does that happen? It's the craziest thing. It's the craziest thing. And so we've broken down the devil. Let's talk about disconnection or connection. Like, I think of relational when I think of the word connection and disconnection. I think about in the family dynamic, I think is kind of what you were referencing. But it could also be in the church or a community or a small group.
All of the areas. Because yes, like you said, connection, which is the opposite of disconnection. And when we're trying to connect in a community, in home, and obviously there's different stages, because when you have a newborn, you're constantly connected to them, especially moms. And I mean, if you nurse, or they are needed all the time. You are needed as a, I mean, life source, and dads as well.
Yeah.
I mean, but there's that connection. And then as the kids get older, there's a little more disconnection, which is normal.
Yeah.
So Power and Purpose of the Teenage Brain.
Ooh,
Daniel
Power and Purpose.
Siegel talks about how it is. It's normal to disconnect from theirs, and they're more connected to their peers.
Oh, interesting. So this is good. So there is a reasonable amount of disconnection.
Yeah. And because their brain, as they mature, it's like, hey, they have to try this out for themselves. And hopefully we've given them enough instruction that they're going to have us in the back of their brain somewhere and be able to make good choices.
Man.
But it's an error of just guess and test a lot of times for them.
I like that, guess and test. Well, and it's funny with Moses right now, I'm like pouring into this guy, and I'm so thankful because, like, you miss things. As parents, we miss things. Our parents miss things.
Yeah.
And so along the way, you're like, I feel like I have this consciousness right now where I feel like the Holy Spirit is telling me, yes, I've been paying attention close by his side, but if you want to talk about a time to pour into this guy, I'm really pouring into him. His body's changing. He's into calisthenics right now. He's posing in the mirror and he looks good.
You guys are a little late on that. Girls have been doing that since they were like
since
2.
They were 2. That's so funny. It's so true. Yeah. It's incredible. And, but I'm trying to teach him things. But the thing is that he has inherited, and I don't know if he gets it from his mom or from me, but he has a temper that's incredible. It's usually based on if somebody's trying to hurt him. And so
misunderstanding.
Yeah.
I know that's a lot with Aiden. Misunderstanding gets him riled up. And I understand, because it's frustrating when you want to be understood, but they just don't.
Yeah.
Or they think they don't.
Right. Exactly. And so it has been a thing where I'll pour all of these things and I'm like, you got it. And then something will happen. I'll set him off and he's gone. And I'm like, oh, okay, we'll come back around on that again. We'll come back around. Yeah. And so, but it's, connection and disconnection. There's a reasonable way for and I'm noticing his switch towards his friends. Yeah. And so I'm trying to be sure to be present for when he does switch, because it's kind of a switching.
Yeah, because they come back.
They do,
when they're older and they're like, oh my goodness, I realized my parents were right.
Yeah. Right.
Ta-da! I actually had that conversation with my mother. I'm sure after I was like, I'm really sorry. I know I put you through a lot when I was 16. So, but I also say, but it also helped you become the best dean ever, because that's the age you work with is 14 to 18.
How does she? I don't know how she does that and maintain
her sanity.
Because I bet she's a firm person, and I sense that she's a person that has structure. And
to a degree, yes. With the girls, yes. She's like, hey, we're not messing with this. But she's also more passive. And I mean, she always has been in certain things, because I think she was shy as a girl.
Oh, I see.
So, and my grandfather was, I love him to death, loved him to death. I mean, but he was a little bit over domineering. And so, I mean, my mom was the only girl, so it was more of a peacekeeper.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, she knows, though, her limits. She's like, no, go change. That's too short.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not allowed to come out of here like this. Like, there's no space at all. But she also knows, it's like, hey, this is a battle I'm not going to fight, because it's not worth putting my effort in. She does understand that. But
I feel that. I feel like it's a balance. I feel like she's friendly and she's kind, but I also feel like there's probably hard line, like you said, those things. And so I don't know. To me, it's an art to be a dean, because you can overdo that or underdo it. And I would never. If you're hearing this,
happens more often.
More often, yeah, man. I could never. People, those humans, you humans who do the dean work. I applaud you. Thank you for your service. It's incredible. So there's we're talking about connection. Oh, I was gonna share with you when I think about. I was talking to one of our young people not too long ago, and I was asking him what he looks for. Right, like we talked about how Moses is changing and he's moving into that disconnection. Right, and I was talking to one of our other young people that about this connection thing, and now they're looking for like a relationship, right? Like maybe dating.
Yeah.
And what does that look like, right? For me, when I was dating to marry, but I think I was trying to like escape something. I don't know. That's a whole other thing going on. But when I asked him, I said, "What do you look for?" You know, and what he had said was, he said, "I'm looking for someone who he wants to show up as unique, and he wants the person that he is pursuing to be unique." And I was like, well, what is unique? You know, what does that even mean? You know, and it seems that everybody has this thing where they want to be
different.
They want to be different. Yeah, they want to be different. They want to be. I mean, everyone's going to be humans, but they want to be in their own way, seen, you know, heard and understood.
Yeah.
You know, and so as he was going, it seems like everybody. He said someone who doesn't look at social media or doesn't have social media. And I was like,
that's going to be hard.
I was like, A, that's going to be hard, but B, why would you say that? Like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
And yeah, and what he was saying because he notices that when everybody is eating from the same, more or less, I'm paraphrasing, eating from the same source, the same trough.
You become what you eat.
Yeah. That's a big part of it, right? And everybody's eating from the same trough because they want to be different, but they're eating from the same trough of.
They're no longer different.
They're no longer different, and they're glancing up with, I don't know, like, and they're looking at each other to compare, and it's like,
doesn't that kind of normalize behaviors?
It does.
Bad behaviors.
Yeah.
I mean, it should help with good ones, but
yeah, you're right. And so in this quest, it's no longer a quest, because social media is called social media because it's supposed to be social.
Yeah.
But it hardly captures what the word. It is social, but it's social comparing.
Yeah.
And social, like, everybody, you don't even have to call that eating from the same trough. And so I was just thinking about, I've never heard it put that way before. But like I said, the thing that we're all pursuing or trying to go after is the thing that we're not getting. And I think what we need as humans, one of the biggest problems right now, I'm doing a lot of ministry with young men who are changing, but also they're dealing with a lot of temptations right now. Young boy and even men temptations that they will follow them through life. And a big part of it, the issue, is lack of connection. Mm-hmm. It's connection, real, true, authentic connection. And so I want to talk about that side of connection here. Before we defeat the devil, the dirt devil, I think about the garden. I always go back to the garden, Adam and Eve, the disconnection.
Well, that's something I think we mentioned last week too, is that, imagine the feeling of disconnection once they realized, oh my goodness, we ate of this, and then they're blaming each other, and then they feel more probably disconnected from each other, not just God.
Yeah.
And man, isn't that a source for a lot of issues with marriages? I hear it all the time. I feel so disconnected. They're not emotionally there for me. All of these things.
Yeah.
And even my kids will say, Mom, I don't feel like we've had enough time together. There's that disconnection.
Yeah. That's great that they can name it and they can call it. Yeah, man, that's incredible how much we need connection. Disconnection is often unintentional. Mm-hmm. It's not rebellion, but exhaustion and overload.
Yeah.
At times. It's a lot of the times it's the idea of drift rather than deliberate wrongdoing. Mm-hmm. We cannot avoid, like you said earlier, we can't avoid technology, work, responsibility. And that question is this helping me be present or helping me disappear? And so, I don't know, for you, what do you usually do? Do you disappear, or do you?
I mean, it's changed, because when I was younger, I think I would respond differently. And I do to this today now too. But I do feel like I disappear a little bit more just because with the weight of everything that goes on with business at home, all that, I just like kind of slink into myself. And
Mm.
that's when people usually know because that's not my personality
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
And so usually people notice if I'm like, hey, something's going on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
usually it is because like today, sometimes where you can just feel like, all right, I'm either going to get cold and I'm
Yeah.
like, it's been going around and I just kind of feel run down a little bit
Mhm,
today. And
mhm.
so I'm like, okay, well, I get to start some extra vitamins today, but I feel extra foggy actually.
Oh, I gotcha.
And
Gotcha. Yeah.
so it's just this sense and I feel it. Thankfully, I don't have many clients today, but
Yeah.
and that's when it's like, Lord, please help me more. I need help more
I need.
because I feel myself disconnecting, but I'm also very attuned with my body.
That's cool.
And so that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why it's so important to become aware of that, because if you're not going to realize as well that you're already disconnected because you're there and all the time.
Yeah, man. I'd like to know what you do to work yourself. I this recommended as I was looking through like techniques. One of them was breathing. You talked about feeling it in your
Mhm.
body and things like that. So I
Were
thought
you ever in choir?
briefly.
Okay,
Yeah,
so if
yeah,
long
yeah.
enough, they always say you need to breathe from your diaphragm. And
Okay,
so
okay.
I'm actually working on publishing an actual journal this year. I
Oh,
already
cool.
have all the insides. I have the outside. I just got to get it
Ooh.
actually published.
Yeah.
But we talk about grounding exercises first, and diaphragmatic breathing is one of them. And to
Okay.
know if you're breathing, because you and I have talked about it a little bit, when you're stressed, you breathe just with your chest because you
Yeah.
aren't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shallow
But
breathing.
you're supposed to breathe with your stomach.
Stomach.
You shouldn't actually, yeah, you shouldn't breathe. Your shoulders shouldn't move.
Oh,
And so it takes practice. And so an easy way to do this is lay on your back and put your hand on your stomach
okay.
and you're on your chest and
Uh-huh.
practice breathing that your stomach goes up and not your chest.
So this will kind of help you to
Yes.
know which one you're doing.
And so it's practicing too. And so I do this and I do this in different ways. I'll put on Backstreet Boys or Rammstein if I'm really like in the mood for some heavy stuff I need to get into.
So good.
But I will notice, okay, how does this impact my body? Where am I feeling this energy?
Yeah.
And so I can point like, hey, I feel it in my chest or I feel it in my legs or I feel it. And so I do that often.
Wow.
But that's a brain spotting, activity I work with clients is where in your body is this coming up?
Oh,
And so
okay.
I know I'm really bad when I'm not feeling my body.
Oh, okay.
And so that for me is a big trigger that, hey, you are disconnected because you are not noticing what's going on in your body. And so I do more work. It's like nighttime's really easy when I'm going to bed and my brain won't shut off. I have a specific spot that's called a resource spot that helps me relax. I don't have a lot of thoughts there. I just feel my body.
Yeah.
And I'm calm in that spot. And so I just hold that spot until my eyes get tired and then I can go to sleep a lot easier.
That's cool. So you said it's like a spot you just stare at
So it's brain spot, which I think you and I've talked about a little bit, is where we look affects how we feel, which you can do that heightened or you can do that relaxed. And so if you can find the relaxed spot, you can use that for calming down, which I use a lot for trauma work.
Yeah.
I do that for trying to go to sleep because I don't have thoughts there. I just feel my body and I can just move into that space. But when I'm up in my head, I can't sleep.
Yeah, that's cool that you know when you can't feel your body. Is that just when you're just so much in your thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, to kind of describe mine, I become very apocalyptic. Like
paranoid.
Like, yeah, like
Almost.
like I'm worried, like one thing I think is happening here and then it's linked to this. And I realize now where those theorists come from now. It's just probably people that feel like me when they're disconnected and like disjointed or whatever. But I'm going to try that. I'm going to try what you said because one of the things I was talking to Denise about is that, we've been doing this thing where we do that 40 days where we look at what God is saying and about us, and then by faith accepting that. And the thing is that there's a part of that where you admit or say out loud or confess what it is you're working through or what you don't like or what you hate. And she said it was like stating what you hate, because we don't usually like to do that, especially my generation before don't like to do that.
Hate is such a strong word.
Yeah.
That's how they would always say
Right. Yeah, it is. It's a very strong word. but to be able to say what you don't like,
Yeah.
you know, like
it's important. It's like name it to tame it. Oh, we talked about that, I think, a little bit.
Yeah.
You do need to identify, because that goes along with everything. If you can't say these things out loud, how are we going to change them?
Right. Yeah. And that's a problem that I have, because I feel like if I say it, then I'm admitting to lack of faith, or admitting to not believing it can be done, or that it's failed,
Well,
you know?
I mean, doubting Thomas, look at him, but
Yeah,
God
that
still
guy.
showed up. Jesus still showed up for him.
Yeah, that's a good example. And we need that example, because that lets us know that no matter how we feel, that doesn't change the way God is and how he feels and what he's doing. How do you practice dealing with disconnection? It can start here, then it can relationally feel this way. And then it just, I mean, you look at the world we're in right now, there's just a lot of division, disconnection, and it just trickles down, feeling disconnected within yourself, feeling disconnected with family, friends, spouse, and then
Church,
it just kind of church
family. Because one of the things that I've thought about often, great example, actually is, okay, we see the news.
Yeah.
One, it can be interpreted multiple ways. And what if it's not even, I mean, one source is going to say one thing.
Yeah.
One source is going to say another. I just learned I don't trust anything on the news at this point. I don't even trust live because of AI anymore.
Right.
They're getting so good. Their hands are even hands.
Their
so
hands are
I
hands
can't
now.
tell.
It's so funny you said
I'm
that.
like, And so a great example was actually, it came in the news yesterday. There was actually a therapist that was killed within the last couple of days in Florida.
Oh no.
And it made the news. What the article I read was that a husband of a client wanted to come talk to the therapist. The therapist wouldn't let him in, and she was stabbed. Then a coworker was trying to help protect her and was stabbed also in the process.
Oh wow.
He went to that coworker went and got treated, and I think is okay, but she is not. Well, my therapist friend here got an article that was saying that she was in a session with a client, and this other one wanted to come in, but he would. So I was like, okay, this is different information.
Yeah.
And so it's like, what's real? I don't know, and it could be hearsay, and then that's the problem.
Yeah.
Is we get hearsay a lot. And so we get misinformation from this. And I see this with my own daughter. She interprets something within her worldview.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that's the whole situation, but that's her experience of it. And so while I try to validate her experience, I also have to help her pause and say, hey, there's actually other sides of this too that we need to also recognize.
Wow. Man, you want to talk about, I appreciate your transparency on that. The thing that we're dealing with right now is this idea, and I'm not a political, I don't watch the news, honestly.
I try not to.
But some things do slip through, especially when they, there's people in the congregation or within my family that are bringing these things up. And one of the things is that now I hear that I need to carry a passport. And it's kind of like, it's adding to like compounding fear, and it's causing disconnection, I feel like, in the sense that it causes you not to look at others the same, like people that are there to help you. It's a temptation, right? It's a temptation. And so this is why I don't know what connection looks like. I see where the starting point is to start here with me. And then now, rather than, I guess, not listening to the news is one of the things with the inputs, right? Whether it's social media or what it is, you want to stay abreast of what's going on, but at the same time, you're trying to connect, but then you're not connecting in the real world. And it's that balance.
That's why what I was saying, it is about a balance, because because I have clients that are worried about the same thing. And then I have clients that are opposite, like, no, and and I'm like, okay, I mean, I see this from so many different aspects, and I try telling people, okay, what do we know right now? Let's bring it back to right now. What do we know right now?
Yeah.
And I mean,
that's so good.
I know I don't actually really look like my license right now, because they pulled an old one, because they're like, oh, you have one on file, we'll just do that. That's like 10 years old. Like 10 years older. I'm like, this isn't going to look like me. I aged really bad.
Oh no.
In that. But I mean, and so it's like, well, too many things. I probably should get it updated anyway, just because I've got a lot more white hair. But
they were like, wait.
And I do think there is a way, because my Facebook, I want to be just about friends, and I want it to be about uplifting things, like working through things. So I X out things all the time. All the time. Like, nope, that's not. I mean, even if it's friends that are posting it, I'm like, nope, I'm Xing it out, because for me, because it is social media, I'm like, no, I want this place to be more about peace if I'm going to be on it. Otherwise, what's the point? I mean, and so it is an uplifting. And so I think that's the hard part, is that can be disconnecting for me, is constantly putting that. I'm like, I don't know if this is true or real. I don't even know where to look for the real information anymore.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, because so many things are so sided all the time.
It's very true.
And I think that's the hard part, because it's like, I don't want to distrust people, but I know that everyone's human. And so they're taking information and interpreting it based on their experience or and that doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It just means it's flawed because we're human.
Because we're human. That's probably the best way to position that. And so I want to offer that not only to us, but then to you as well. Just if you feel disconnected, I guess I like what you said, is that you can curate what you're allowing into your peace. Yeah. And so being intentional with that. So why don't we breathe together? Show me how to do it. Let's do this.
This is hard. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
I mean,
we should be laying down, but should we lay on the table? Should we? No, I'm just joking. We're not going to do that.
This is not Titanic. One of us would not fit.
That was perfect.
So, okay. It takes practice, because I have more, I mean, you can't see my stomach, but you can see my chest is not moving much.
You're right. Mine is moving all.
So I've had more practice on this. You have to make pooch. Going for a pooch.
Going for the pooch. Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
They always told us to suck it in when we were girls because of the whole thing. I'm like, we're not trying to suck it in.
We're not sucking it in. Not this time. No.
Your chest isn't moving much.
Oh, good. Okay.
It's obviously going to move a little because it's all connected, but
yeah.
So that's the breathing you're supposed to do. That's what connects the nervous system. That's the breathing. They say, okay, you got to sing from your diaphragm.
Oh yeah, that's where that comes from. Okay. That's good. Okay. I'll remember that. All right. So what would you recommend as a therapist, as in a world this is a big thing right now with disconnection? You kind of gave us an example of what that looks like. Is there any other advice that you could give to?
So a lot of people, they will come because for me, it's like if news is important, which it can be, it's like, okay, put a limit on it. So set a time in your day that you will give yourself that time to try to look. And I will say, try to find areas that are not wholly one-sided or the other. Try to find something that will bring in both sides of things. And to me, this isn't Democrat or Republican. This is just, what is a healthy middle? Because this goes to my kids, like Kaylin and Aiden, like they're two different people. And so they both experiencing things differently. And so I have to try to be in the middle of this.
That's very true.
To try to bring in, say, okay, hold on. I see truth in both sides.
Yeah.
Now, can we see each other where we're seeing from each other's sides and where you don't have to necessarily agree with each other to be accepting and loving toward each other. Yeah. And that's what we're trying. But I mean, that's hit or miss. But my hope is that that's something they're going to take into their daily life to say, hey, I don't have to have it just my way. Yeah. I can see someone else's side and validate that.
I agree.
While also being a good person.
Yeah.
And so that's my advice in that. But if it is important, set it for 15 minutes or whatever. So you know that is your time. So you can protect everything else in that. Yeah. And except for that, because it can be, it's something that's needed to be kept informed. I'm not saying being an ostrich, but
sure. I appreciate what you said, because I just was having this conversation with wifey, is that how much of this do you share with your kids? Because Moses is a person that he would be scared to death if we were to just expose him to all of that, you know? And so that was exactly what we were talking about, is that there is some logic in both sides of whatever you're hearing. And so to try to give what seems reasonable or what makes sense and limit that exposure, right? Okay.
Because while they're still at home, we can. And that's why but also telling them, hey, we do this all the time with the kids. Like, guys, you are safe here to a degree, obviously not from your own choices, but
right.
When you're here, like, we can help restructure. If you guys aren't truthful all the time, we give you that space to be able to talk it out, where if you go into the work field and you take this habit there, that's not going to be as understanding.
That's very true.
Here we have that understanding because we love you and we want you to be, successful people. But this is something we've got to work through now, because again, in 20 years, that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, that's very true. So creating a space, I love this. I feel like you're building something that I'm going to take home with me, because I feel like, so we're talking about out here, limiting your exposure, being intentional. It's not just, doom looking, scrolling. But then now we get to our home where our families are and our kids, and what we're allowing, creating a space, a safe space for conversation, things like that. Let's see. There was one more I was going to say. And then in our own personal lives, right? So dealing with the family, with connection and disconnection. I think about my spouse. I think about our kids. So you talked about our kids. Disconnection with spouses. I know that I've been a roommate with my wife from time to time because we get so busy.
Yeah. It's not intentional.
No.
And I mean, that's very easy and great because, as you know, Adam works night shift. And so we are bypassing each other. Like, here's a peck, I love you, and we're out the door. And so we do have to be intentional. And it's hard because you do feel that disconnect, and you're like, okay, this is just a phase in life. We're just raising kids, and then we will.
Yeah,
you can't do that, because you're going to look at each other and be like, oh, I don't know you.
You're right.
This is, they have, when we were in our classes, they're like, all right, 2 years, 7 years, and 20 years.
Yeah.
That's where people divorce the most.
Yeah.
Because at 2 years, all that honeymoon phase is over, and you're like, oh, you got a lot of habits I did not realize. And then 7 years, you're starting to have kids. Your careers tend to change a lot, and you're like, holy cow, like, we got kids going to doctors. We have all this stuff. We don't see each other often. Then 20, they're out of the house.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so then it's like, oh. Did you ever watch the movie Failure to Launch with Matthew McConaughey? And
I've heard of that.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Maybe I have.
So she's the one that's hired by parents to help launch their sons out of the house. And it's interesting because Matthew McConaughey's parents hired her to be like the girlfriend to help launch him. There's a trauma story there, though, that comes up with this. But the parents are constantly putting all the effort into him and forgetting about each other. And now they're retired, and he's got his own naked room that he's got fish and everything. He's walking around. He's like, please don't. The mom's like, please don't leave me alone with him. Like, I don't even know him. And so it's like helping them get reconnected as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's the case. It's like, we can't forget about each other. And thankfully, I mean, Adam's love language is physical touch. And so when we do have time, he wants to just lay his head on my lap and play with my hair. Physical touch is not
it's mine. Not yours. Yeah. Right.
Acts of services. And so we've had to really be intentional. He'll make me coffee in the morning.
Okay.
Sometimes I have to ask because he's in school right now and so his brain's like, oh my goodness, hyper focus.
Yeah.
But cleaning the kitchen, those things really mean a lot for me. Wow. But I tell people this all the time. If you think your spouse's love language is physical touch, I have a simple way to test this.
Okay.
At least it's in mine.
Yeah.
I can irritate him out of the world. We just had a fight, but if I'll come up and give him a hug from behind, he'll always turn around and hug me.
Oh, shoot.
Always.
Okay.
I have tested it multiple times. I'm not trying to upset him on purpose, but I have given him a hug.
Yeah.
And I can tell by his face. He's not happy with me, but he will always turn around and give me a hug.
How interesting. That's a good test. There's a test you can do on paper to find out which one you are.
Yeah, the 5 love languages.
Yeah. And actually Pastor John has a box upstairs, which I'm going to have to go look at. But sometimes it's hard to know which one you are.
Yeah, because sometimes you're close on them.
Yeah. I love that. I love what you just said. That's the test for that one. So the best way to know for you is make a cup of something and you're just like,
thank you. I will be like, thank you. I will be all he calls me a porcupine. He's like, you're a porcupine today. And I own it. I'm like, yeah, I am.
So good. It's so good. I love how honest and open and real you are. It's funny. I'm starting to think though, that for my wife, I think hers might be acts of service. because I'll make her ginger tea in the morning, and that seems to mean something. And the other stuff that I do that I think is not
it
not
doesn't
doing
reach
anything.
for
It
the
doesn't.
same.
Yeah.
Because it might be something you would appreciate.
That's probably
and it's
what it
always
is.
easier for us to communicate in our love language because that's just natural.
Yeah.
And I gave this example all the time with couples. If you were, and I always gave this example well before my daughter wanted to go to Italy, but I was like, so imagine you're on your like single tour of Europe, and you go in and you meet someone at whatever restaurant you're at, and you're like, wow, you just have obviously this physical connection, obviously, but you don't know each other's language. How are you going to make that work long term?
Yeah.
You have to learn each other's language.
Yeah.
And you have to communicate in each other's language.
Ooh, that's good. Language. So language and communication is a big part of connection. Okay. So that's for those, including myself, this is something I'm going to be working on because, and I love what you said about not waiting until you just grit and bear it through those years with the kids. Like it's got to start now and it's got to be discovering.
It's like exercise program.
Yeah.
You got to start now.
Yeah.
Not, tomorrow. And then it's a year from now. And you're like, well, that scale has shown that I have been lying.
Right. It's like, what is this? Oh, they're lying. No, it's me.
Yeah.
But okay. So then the last, I think, sphere, because I just wanted to go through all the spheres before we close. We went kind of like at a global, which was, and then we came to our home, and then we talked about our kids, and then we talked about our spouse, and then whether you have a spouse or not, but relationships,
significant other, which could be friend, it could be
yeah, and then now community, and that may or may not look like a church for you, but it seems important to have community like that. Any recommendations on that?
I mean, a lot of times one of the things they say is if you are looking for friends or partners, go do things you enjoy.
Yeah.
And find community in that.
Yeah.
And so like Warhammer 40K, which is something my son likes, but we're keeping that very low at just doing the figurines right now.
Oh, that's cool.
A lot of the game is out right now, the video game, but he enjoys doing that. And obviously for him, it's hard, but they have a Warhammer 40K store that there's a lot of people that do that, just like D&D.
Right.
And so when you go and you make connections that way, and because I do not relate to Warhammer 40K. Like I'm like, oh, okay, that's awesome. I like watching him being creative. Like, man, some of them are amazing that he's painted.
Yeah.
And so that stuff I can like validate and encourage him on. But as far as the community, I'm out. Like, I'm sorry, that's not.
Well, I really appreciate what you said, because usually community is connected to an interest, but not everyone may be interested in Warhammer, right?
And so I love coffee. That's a great, go to a coffee shop. And I just met another therapist. We're going to have coffee next Friday.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because they live in Andover and I'm in Rose Hill. And
nice.
We had talked about like office space, but it's like, hey, let's at least network, because being in private practice can feel lonely because it's yourself. I have more of a group setting, even though it's not, because I have multiple therapists in the office. So
I see.
we have camaraderie there, but it's not on our own. Man. And so that can feel lonely. But so it's important to have that connection for like lunches and stuff.
Oh, this was a perfect example you just gave right now, because you can be a bunch of people in a building and still be disconnected.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's horrible. I was just, as young adult pastor here, this concept between Pastor John and I has been small groups, this idea of small groups. And I've been looking at these 3 things that have to do with getting together: eat, pray, and play. And one of the things that gets put aside is kind of the play, because it seems like nonsense. And the thing that I realize now is how important it is, because one of my young adults, they're just so transparent, this generation. They just came up to me and they're like, I'm going to go talk to so-and-so because I just don't like them. And I was like, and they're real different. They're just, I don't know what, because this group is growing, just the general group of young adults. And they just don't, if they don't like it, they don't, and they just, usually you just disconnect and separate is what you do. But then we came together to play, and it was actually poker is what we did. It's vegan. It's the vegan poker. And it's like they never sit in a space to be able to conversate because they would never talk about the same stuff.
Yeah.
But as they were putting cards down and little like comments would come out and things, now something was happening. And I was
They
like,
started making a connection.
there was a connection.
Yeah.
And so there just needs to be plain dumb playing or just being.
But here's the thing, it's not, because if you look at it, play is such a part of childhood that allows their brain to develop. And how many kids unfortunately miss that because technology has taken over so much of our life. That is not the play we need. We have to have play like in sand, cards. We have to have that dialogue with people face to face. Wow. That's the play that's missing.
Okay.
So much.
So there it is, my friends. That was the cherry on top right there. You need to go play. You need to go play. And I like what you said.
That's
touch
the
grass.
Homework is play.
Yes. Touch grass, touch dirt, touch cards. Yes. No, that's wonderful. Yeah, play. So, I think that's a good place to kind of land the plane here. I don't know where the music will start here, but let's see what happens. Here it is. We'll do it when the beat drops. So stay connected out there, friends. I am Pastor Fred.
And this is Julie with Mind,
Mana, and Maker. Talk to you next time.